Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something straight from the heart. Every man out there can meet 1,000 women, but he'll only fall deeply in love with the one who touches his soul through her energy. It's not about makeup, not about a perfect body, not even about the way she walks. It's about the way she feels. A real feminine energy, that soft, confident, loving energy. That's what makes a man stop and say, that's her. That's the one. Feminine energy is not about appearance. It's about presence, vibe, and emotional depth. You see, a lot of people think a woman's beauty is only about what she wears, how she looks, or how she carries herself on the outside. But that's not the truth. Real feminine energy, the kind that makes a man fall deeply in love, doesn't come from makeup or fancy clothes. It comes from something much deeper, the way she makes a man feel. It's the invisible power, the energy that surrounds her, the warmth in her eyes, the calm in her voice, and the softness in her presence. That's the kind of energy a man never forgets, because it doesn't just touch his eyes, it touches his soul. When a woman walks into a room and she carries that gentle, grounded, yet powerful presence, people notice. She doesn't even have to say much, because her energy speaks for her. You can feel it in the way she smiles, the way she listens, the way she moves with quiet confidence. She's not trying to impress anyone. She's not pretending to be someone else. She's simply being herself. That's the magic. Because men can sense authenticity. They can feel when a woman is pretending and when she's real. And when they meet a woman who's truly connected with her inner peace and emotional depth, they feel drawn to her like a magnet. This kind of energy doesn't need loudness or drama. It's calm, it's steady, it's graceful. It says, I know who I am, I know what I bring, and I don't need to chase anyone to prove it. That kind of presence is rare, and that's exactly why it's irresistible. Because most of the world is busy trying to get attention, but a woman with deep feminine energy doesn't chase attention, she attracts it naturally. She's not desperate for love, because she already radiates love from within. Her peace, her warmth, her vibe, it all tells a man that she's not looking for completion, she's already complete. And that's what truly draws a man in. Because men are not just looking for someone beautiful, they're looking for someone who makes them feel safe. The world outside is loud, demanding, and cold. But when he's around her, he feels peace, he feels seen, he feels understood without needing to explain. That's the power of a woman's emotional depth. She can connect with a man's heart without trying to fix him, without controlling him, without losing herself. She simply feels, and through her presence, she gives him permission to feel too. When a woman owns her vibe and carries that emotional depth, she becomes unforgettable. A man might meet many women in his life, but the one who touches his soul through her calm, grounded, feminine presence, that's the one he can't stop thinking about. That's the one he compares everyone else to. Because true feminine energy doesn't scream for attention, it commands it silently, gracefully, effortlessly. That's the kind of energy that makes a man fall deeply, fearlessly, and endlessly in love. Men don't fall in love with looks alone. They fall in love with how a woman makes them feel. You see, attraction might start with appearance, but love, real, deep, lasting love, begins with emotion. A man may admire beauty, but he remembers how a woman's presence affected his heart. It's not the dress she wore, it's not the lipstick color, it's the way she made him feel seen, valued, and understood. When a woman knows how to create emotional connection, she becomes unforgettable. Her beauty might catch his eyes, but her energy captures his soul. A man can meet the most beautiful woman in the world, but if she doesn't touch him emotionally, she becomes just another face in his memory. But when he meets someone whose energy brings peace, comfort, and warmth, something inside him changes. He feels safe enough to open up, to let his guard down, to be his true self. And men don't do that easily. Most men live their lives wearing emotional armor, pretending to be strong all the time, carrying silent pain. But when he finds a woman who can make him feel again, it's like finding a home in human form. A woman with emotional intelligence doesn't try to fix or control him. She listens, she understands, and she respects his space. She knows that love isn't about demanding or chasing, it's about creating feelings. She doesn't say, love me. She makes him want to love her because being around her just feels good. She knows how to bring lightness to his heavy days, laughter to his stress, and calm to his chaos. That's the kind of emotional connection that makes a man fall deep every day. Not because he has to, but because he can't help it. Men might not say it out loud, but they crave emotional safety. They want to feel that they can be vulnerable without judgment. When a woman makes a man feel that kind of safety, she unlocks his heart. She becomes the one he trusts, the one he wants to share his world with. It's not about playing games or pretending to be someone else. It's about being real. Because when a woman shows up with authenticity, warmth, and patience, she triggers something rare in a man: admiration mixed with comfort. That's not lust, that's love growing quietly. And here's the truth: a man never forgets how you made him feel. He might forget your words, your perfume, your pictures, but he will always remember how peaceful or powerful it felt to be near you. That emotional imprint is stronger than any physical attraction. So when a woman learns to lead with her softness, her understanding, her emotional presence, she stops competing for attention. She becomes the kind of woman every man seeks, not because of how she looks, but because of how she makes his soul feel alive. A woman who's soft yet strong is unforgettable. She brings peace, not pressure. True femininity isn't about weakness. It's about strength wrapped in gentleness. A woman like that doesn't shout to prove her worth. She doesn't argue to show power. Her strength is quiet but undeniable. She knows who she is and what she stands for, yet she carries herself with grace. That balance between softness and strength is what captivates a man on a soul deep level. Because when he looks at her, he doesn't just see beauty, he sees peace, stability, and a kind of emotional maturity that makes him want to be a better man. A soft yet strong woman doesn't use harsh words to get respect. Her calmness commands it. She doesn't try to control anyone because she has mastered control over herself. She can walk away when things aren't right, but she can also nurture when love deserves a chance. Her heart is open, but her boundaries are firm. That combination makes her magnetic. Men feel drawn to that energy because it's rare. Most people either show strength without softness or softness without backbone, but when both live in harmony, it's powerful. That's the kind of woman who doesn't just attract a man, she earns his deepest loyalty. When she speaks, her tone is gentle, yet her words carry weight. She doesn't rush to prove her point because she's confident in her truth. When challenges come, she doesn't fall apart. She pauses, breathes, and handles them with calmness. Her reaction to chaos is what sets her apart. A man can feel that he's safe around her because she doesn't bring drama, she brings direction. She doesn't push him to change through force. She inspires him to rise through her example. When she loves, she doesn't suffocate, she supports. And when she lets go, she does it with dignity. Softness in a woman is not fragility, it's emotional intelligence. It means she knows when to listen, when to speak, and when to stay silent. Her softness brings comfort, her strength brings respect. Together, they create a balance that every man subconsciously desires but rarely finds. Because deep down, men want a woman who makes them feel safe enough to let their guard down, yet strong enough to stand beside them when life gets hard. That's what real partnership feels like. Not competition, not control, but calm connection. A woman with this kind of energy doesn't chase love. She embodies it. Her presence alone makes a man want to protect her, cherish her, and never lose her. Not because she demands it, but because her peace becomes his peace. That's the kind of woman who heals, who uplifts, who brings harmony wherever she goes. She doesn't try to be unforgettable, she simply is. And once a man experiences that softness and strength combined, he'll never settle for anything less again. Confidence and self-worth attract men who are emotionally mature. You see, when a woman knows her value, the entire way she carries herself changes. She doesn't walk into a room seeking validation. She walks in already knowing she belongs there. Her confidence isn't loud or arrogant. It's quiet, grounded, and deeply magnetic. She doesn't need to compete or compare because she understands that what she brings to the table is unique. And that's what makes men who are truly mature take notice. They don't fall for perfection. They fall for a woman who's comfortable in her own skin, who radiates assurance and inner peace. A confident woman doesn't need constant reassurance because she already gives it to herself. She doesn't wait for a man to tell her she's beautiful because she feels beautiful from within. Her energy says, I know who I am, and I'm not afraid to stand alone if I have to. That kind of energy is powerful because it tells a man that she's not with him out of need, she's with him by choice. And that difference changes everything. It makes him respect her. Because deep down, every man wants to be chosen, not required. A self-assured woman creates that dynamic effortlessly. Confidence doesn't mean she never doubts herself. It means she doesn't let fear control her. She might have insecurities like anyone else, but she faces them instead of hiding from them. She grows from challenges, learns from mistakes, and keeps her head high through it all. That kind of resilience inspires men, especially those who are emotionally aware. Because confidence mixed with vulnerability is powerful, is real. It shows that she's human, but still refuses to shrink herself to fit anyone's comfort. That's the kind of woman who makes a man want to rise to her level. When a woman values herself, she also sets boundaries. She doesn't tolerate disrespect or settle for half love. She knows that her peace is priceless, and she guards it wisely. A man might test her limits once, but he quickly learns that she's not someone to play with. Not because she's harsh, but because she respects herself enough to walk away from anything that doesn't align with her worth. That's what mature men admire most: strength that doesn't need to scream. Her quiet standards speak louder than words. Confidence is not about dominating others. It's about mastering oneself. It's how she carries her energy, how she smiles with certainty, how she handles rejection with grace. Even when things don't go her way, she doesn't break, she resets. And men can feel that. They see that she's the kind of woman who adds peace, not pressure, who brings strength, not stress. That's why confident women attract emotionally mature men, because they both understand value. She values herself and he values her for it. Together, they don't complete each other, they complement each other. And that's the kind of love that lasts. True love energy comes from kindness, care, and emotional safety. Real love isn't loud or dramatic. It's calm, patient, and full of understanding. When a woman loves from a pure heart, she creates a space where a man feels accepted for who he truly is. She doesn't try to change him. She helps him grow. She doesn't use love as a tool to control. She uses it as a way to uplift. That kind of love is rare in a world where everyone is chasing validation and attention. But a woman who leads with kindness has a different glow. Her warmth makes people feel comfortable, and her gentleness has a strength that words can't describe. When a man meets a woman who genuinely cares, something in him softens. He starts to let go of his fears, his walls, his guarded emotions. Because for the first time, he feels safe to be real. A kind woman doesn't mock his weaknesses. She honors his vulnerability. She listens with presence, speaks with compassion, and loves without ego. That's what creates emotional safety. When a man knows he won't be judged, only understood. And when that happens, he doesn't just like her. He begins to trust her. That trust becomes the foundation of deep love, the kind that doesn't fade easily. Care isn't just about big gestures. It's in the small, consistent things. It's in the way she checks on him after a long day, the way she remembers what he said weeks ago, or the way she offers peace instead of arguments. Those simple acts speak louder than grand words. Because when a man feels genuinely cared for, he feels seen. In a world that often tells men to be strong and hide feelings, being with a kind, caring woman feels like coming home. It's a warmth his soul recognizes, not neediness, but nurturing. Kindness also creates balance. A loving woman doesn't lose herself while caring for others. She gives love, but she also respects her own heart. That's what makes her love powerful. It comes from fullness, not emptiness. When she gives, She doesn't expect something in return. She gives because love is her nature. That's the kind of woman who teaches a man what true love really means. Not control, not fear, not games, but peace. Emotional safety is the deepest form of intimacy. When a man feels emotionally safe with a woman, he opens up in ways he never has before. He stops pretending to be strong all the time. He starts being honest about his dreams, his struggles, his truth. That's when love becomes more than chemistry. It becomes connection. A woman who brings kindness, care, and safety becomes unforgettable because she doesn't just love a man, she heals him. And once a man feels that kind of love, he knows he's found something real, something worth protecting, something he'll never want to lose. When a woman embodies peace, self-respect, and love, she doesn't chase, she chooses. That's the kind of energy that separates a woman who's searching for love from a woman who attracts love naturally. When she is centered within herself, grounded in peace, and secure in her own worth, her energy changes everything around her. She doesn't move with desperation. She moves with purpose. She's not looking for someone to complete her because she's already whole. And when a woman reaches that point, she becomes magnetic, not because she's trying to be noticed, but because she radiates calmness, confidence, and grace that can't be ignored. Peace is powerful. It's a rare energy that the world is hungry for. When a woman carries inner peace, she becomes a light in the chaos. Her presence alone can soften a room. Men feel that energy is comforting, grounding, and healing. A peaceful woman doesn't overreact, doesn't chase drama, and doesn't allow negativity to control her emotions. She knows how to pause, breathe, and choose her response instead of reacting in haste. That kind of emotional maturity attracts a man who values stability because she shows him that love doesn't have to be complicated. It can be simple, pure, and steady. Self-respect adds another layer to that beauty. A woman with self-respect doesn't settle for half-hearted love, inconsistent effort, or empty promises. She knows her standards are not too high. They are simply a reflection of her worth. When she says no to what doesn't serve her, she creates space for what truly deserves her. She's not afraid to walk away from anything that cost her peace. That boundary is what earns her respect, not just from men, but from everyone around her. She teaches through her energy that love without self-respect isn't love at all, it's dependency. Then comes love, not the love that clings, but the love that flows. A woman who loves from a place of strength gives freely, but she never loses herself in the process. Her love uplifts, encourages, and inspires. She doesn't chase anyone because she understands that love isn't something you run after. It's something that grows naturally where it's valued. When she gives love, it's pure, not transactional. And that kind of love leaves a mark. It makes a man feel appreciated, not pressured, desired, not demanded. When a woman carries these three energies, peace, self-respect, and love, she changes the way relationships work around her. She no longer needs to convince anyone to stay because her energy itself becomes the reason someone wants to stay. She doesn't chase attention. She commands it without trying. She doesn't beg for love. She attracts it effortlessly. Her calm becomes his comfort. Her self-worth becomes his standard, and her love becomes his peace. That's the kind of woman a man falls deeply for, not because she needs him, but because she chooses him, and that choice is the most powerful kind of love there is.